Before Britain ruled an empire, it ruled the seas. The story of the British Navy is one of sails, cannons, and an unmatched rise to global dominance. The video begins with a dramatic montage of pivotal moments: the clash with the Spanish Armada, the thunderous cannons at Trafalgar, colossal dreadnoughts of the World Wars, and sleek modern aircraft carriers. Alongside the visuals of Queen Elizabeth I and Winston Churchill, the stage is set to explore how British naval power shaped not only the nation but the world. The viewer is promised a journey through empire building, technological innovation, decisive battles, and the Royal Navy's enduring legacy. The roots of Britain's naval power stretch back to the Middle Ages. Maritime activity during this time was centered around trade, fishing, and defense. King Alfred the Great recognized the value of sea power early on, organizing a defensive fleet to repel Viking invaders. This was a primitive start, but it laid the foundation for a seafaring culture. As time progressed, coastal defenses were fortified, and ports like Bristol and London flourished with trade. Privateers and pirates began to play a role in maritime affairs, often sanctioned by the Crown to attack enemy ships, blending commerce and combat in England's early naval efforts. Everything began to change under the Tudors. Henry VII, the first monarch of the Tudor dynasty, laid the groundwork for a centralized naval force, but it was his son, Henry VIII, who revolutionized England's approach to the sea. Henry established the country's first standing navy, introducing permanent dockyards, better ship designs, and administrative reforms to support a year-round fleet. Dry docks allowed for rapid ship maintenance, while stronger hulls and cannon firepower increased effectiveness in battle. Under Elizabeth I, the Royal Navy achieved a defining moment in 1588 when it defeated the Spanish Armada, signaling the emergence of England as a major maritime power and protecting the Protestant realm from Spanish Catholic domination. The 17th century saw the Royal Navy expand its influence during a series of Anglo-Dutch wars. These conflicts were primarily fought for trade dominance, and they refined naval tactics such as the line of battle formation. English warships, especially the powerful ships of the line, became more sophisticated and deadly. Naval victories ensured the protection of trade routes and the security of emerging colonies. The Navigation Acts and a mercantilist economic policy emphasized controlling global trade through maritime strength. During this period, the Navy became essential in asserting Britain's expanding imperial ambitions. By the 18th century, the Royal Navy had become a global force. It played a decisive role in conflicts like the War of the Spanish Succession and the 7 Years' War. These victories allowed Britain to secure valuable territories in India, the Caribbean, and North America. Admiral George Anson's circumnavigation of the globe not only struck a blow against Spanish interests but also demonstrated the Navy's long-range capabilities. Naval discipline improved through better training and standardized procedures. The creation of the Royal Marines added a flexible, amphibious component to naval operations. As ships traveled further and faster, Britain's maritime dominance became central to its global empire. The French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars elevated British naval power to its zenith. Central to this era was Admiral Horatio Nelson, whose audacity and brilliance redefined naval command. At the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, Nelson's tactics shattered the combined French and Spanish fleets, ensuring British control of the seas for over a century. Although Nelson lost his life in the battle, his victory sealed Britain's supremacy and prevented Napoleon from ever challenging Britain by sea. Trafalgar became a symbol of national pride and the embodiment of Britain's unmatched naval capability. In the 19th century, the Royal Navy underpinned what came to be known as Pax Britannica, a period of relative global peace enforced by British power. Technological innovation led to the transition from wooden sailing ships to steam-powered ironclads and later to steel-hulled dreadnoughts. These changes transformed naval strategy and ship design. The Navy took on new roles, such as suppressing piracy, protecting trade, and dismantling the transatlantic slave trade. With bases and coaling stations around the world, Britain maintained the largest and most technologically advanced fleet, enabling it to project power across continents and keep the global order it had helped create. World War I introduced new dimensions to naval warfare. The Royal Navy implemented a blockade against Germany, strangling its economy and contributing to eventual victory. The largest naval battle of the war, the Battle of Jutland, tested dreadnought strategies and left an ambiguous outcome but reinforced Britain's control of the North Sea. In World War II, the Navy adapted to even more complex challenges. During the evacuation at Dunkirk, the Royal Navy led one of the most dramatic retreats in history, saving hundreds of thousands of Allied troops. In the Battle of the Atlantic, British ships faced off against German U-boats in a deadly contest of convoys and countermeasures. Technological breakthroughs like radar, sonar, and the rise of aircraft carriers reshaped naval doctrine. Naval Aviation and anti-submarine warfare became critical to Allied victory. The Cold War era saw the Royal Navy adjust to a changed geopolitical landscape. Although the British Empire had largely dissolved, the Navy remained a key element of national defense and international strategy. Britain became one of the few nations with nuclear-armed submarines, deploying the Trident ballistic missile system as a nuclear deterrent. As a founding member of NATO, the Royal Navy took on extensive patrol and alliance duties. Its capabilities were put to the test in 1982 during the Falklands War, where British naval forces deployed thousands of miles from home to reclaim the islands from Argentine occupation, demonstrating not only endurance but modern fighting strength. Today, the Royal Navy operates as a blue water force capable of global operations. Its modern fleet includes advanced ships like the HMS Queen Elizabeth, a massive aircraft carrier representing the Navy's return to carrier strike capability. With fewer ships but more advanced technology, the Navy now emphasizes versatility, rapid deployment, and multi-role operations. Beyond warfare, it takes part in humanitarian missions, anti-piracy patrols, disaster relief, and enforcing international maritime law. Its legacy is not just in battle honors or imperial conquest, but in shaping global trade, diplomacy, and the very identity of Britain as a seafaring nation. The story of the Royal Navy is the story of Britain itself, a force that defended the island, built an empire, and continues to shape the seas.